What is up, guys? James Carter TV here to recap the Thursday night football game between the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans. And I'm the moron of the week because if you watched my NFL Week 5 picks and predictions video, which you should do, by the way, I said that I was no longer going to make stupid picks. But in this game, I made a stupid pick. Hours before the game, Adam Schefter and Ian whatever from NFL.com, Ian Rappaport, they came out, they said Andrew Luck wasn't going to play. And me, I thought that, hey, you know what? Matt Hasselbeck will be starting. I just can't trust Matt Hasselbeck. The Texans have to win this game, right? I'm a clown. Of course they're not going to win this game. The Texans are one of, if not the worst team in the NFL. And to me, there is all the evidence in the world that they are the worst team in the NFL as of this moment. I don't care that the Detroit Lions are 0-5 or 0-4. They're going to be 0-5 most likely. I don't care. Give me the Lions over this Texans team all day. Because the Texans, at the end of the day, are starting Brian Hoyer and Ryan Mallett. And you're just not going to win games with these guys. Especially when your offense isn't... Well, actually, I was going to say isn't that talented, but they do have offense. I just think the quarterbacks are so bad that the talent can't even be used. I mean, Ryan Mallett is awful, and he was 7 for 10 today, threw an interception, of course. That's just, his move. Ended up getting pulled out of the game. Brian Hoyer came in, threw a nice Hail Mary touchdown. I mean, I guess you could say it was nice. Jalen Strong came down with that. Had another nice drive where Jalen Strong came up with another touchdown. But ultimately, the game came down to 27-20. The Texans had to go drive down the field to tie the game, and I knew exactly what was going to happen. They weren't going to do it. This is the most important thing in the NFL. It happens so often when a team is down by a touchdown or field goal, whatever. Can you drive down the field and can you score? And just to put it simply, the good teams do and the bad teams don't ever. That's why it came to such a shock to me that Kirk Cousins actually did it last week. I mean, that was such a shock. Wow, the Redskins actually had a game-winning drive. This is nothing you would expect from a bad team, but that's because the Redskins are finally becoming a mediocre team, while the Texans are a bad team. And when you ask them to drive down the field to win a game in the fourth quarter, when it's on the line, they won't do it. They're not good enough to do it. Brian Hoyer at 3rd and 2 on his own or on their own 40, on the Colts 40. This guy throws up, quite honestly, one of the worst passes I've ever seen. This is 3rd down. This is not 4th down. This is not do or die. There's a minute and 50 seconds left on the clock. There is no reason to throw this ball up asking God or Allah or Zeus or whatever spirit to allow the ball to fall into DeAndre Hopkins' hands. There's no reason to do such a thing. And yet, Brian Hoyer does such a thing, and that's the end of the game. And I've never seen such a more ridiculous pass of this juncture, of this nature, quite honestly, in my life. I've seen some quarterbacks make some bad decisions. That ranks up with the worst or the best, depending on how you want to look at it. It was absolutely horrible. And he's going to start next week, and he's going to do bad again. And the Texans are in the most trouble you could imagine. As their next couple games, I don't see them winning, and they're facing bad teams. As next week they go to Jacksonville, I think they're going to lose. The week after that they go to Miami, I think they're going to lose. The week after that they host the Tennessee Titans, I think they're going to lose. I mean, I no longer see wins on the schedule because at the end of the day, this is not a very good football team. Now, somewhere along, they'll win 2 games, 3 maximum. But the best you guys as Texans fans can hope for is 4-12. Actually, excuse me, that's the worst. The best you can hope for is 1-15. That way you can get the first overall pick. That way you could select Jared Goff, and that way you could finally have a franchise quarterback and get the ball rolling. And I'll get to the Colts in a minute, by the way, if you want to know about the Colts. But let me just keep on ranting on the Houston Texans. And, more inexplicably to me, this team, their head coach, Bill O'Brien, is I find him to be quite deplorable. Yes, he was entertaining on Hard Knocks, but that shtick gets old. For any of you guys that have ever played sports on any level, I don't care if it was Little League, you just imagine you having to be coached by this guy. Wouldn't you get sick of this guy's attitude every now and then? I mean, Brian Hoyer made a horrible play, a couple horrible plays. DeAndre Hopkins had a penalty on the, on the last drive the Texans had. But Bill O'Brien, as fans, you're allowed to go crazy. At home, you can say, "Oh my God, you idiot!" But Bill O'Brien on the field will look his players in the eye and he'll say, "Why did you do that? What are you, a baby?" As a head coach, you can yell at a guy or anything like that when it's time. But when a player is still on the field and the game can still be won, you need to calm down. And if you can have the presence of mind to be calm, to tell your player, it's okay, let's go get him, all right? Then yell at him after the game, then your players will be more responsive to that. I can't imagine having a coach that every time I make a little mistake, I look over and he says, "Why did you do that?" Like what Bill O'Brien does. I mean, isn't that one of the most deplorable things you've ever seen? Because I know it is for me. But, okay, now let's move on to the Indianapolis Colts, because there's not much to talk about the Indianapolis Colts. Okay, sure, you're 3-2, you've gone on this AFC South tour, and you've won, and you've won, and you've won, and now you're 3-2, but I think you're in trouble. Next week, you're hosting the New England Patriots. There's no evidence to believe you're going to beat that football team after the history they have over you in recent history when they keep blowing the hell out of you. And I don't care if Andrew Luck is back, because an argument could be made that this team is better with Matt Hasback at quarterback. An argument could be made. I'm not saying I'm going to make it, but an argument could be made. The week after that, the Colts host the New Orleans Saints. Now, this should be a win, you would think, but I don't think it's as strong of a lock as some of you may think. So that's a game that I look at and I even say, "Oh, well, I don't know if they're going to win that game." The week after that, I believe, let me pull up the schedule. The week after that, the Colts go to Carolina for an 4-0 team. They'll probably be like 5-1 by this point, or 4-2. Then you guys host Denver, and I know you beat Denver in the playoff game last year, but their defense, they're going to shut you guys down. The week after that, you guys go to Atlanta. You face what will probably still be an undefeated team. And then you guys host Tampa Bay, which is your one win, maybe your second win. And then you guys go to Pittsburgh, and this will be a Ben Roethlisberger-led Pittsburgh Steelers team. So I think trouble's still ahead for the Indianapolis Colts. So before you guys crown yourselves, "Ooh, we're the AFC South champions," before everyone says, "Yeah, the Colts are AFC South champions," understand their schedule is going to give them some difficulties, and understand there's a rookie quarterback by the name of Marcus Mariota in that division. And as RG3 did in 2012, as Russell Wilson did in 2012, as Andrew Luck did in 2012, a rookie quarterback damn sure well can lead his team to a 10-plus win season and make the playoffs. Oh, he's a rookie? 3 rookies did it in 2012. 3. But that's all I'm going to say. Until next time, James Carter TV, I'm out. Peace.